Start the show, brother.
All right. Oh, are you recording right now? Did you hit record?
Yeah, I've been recording for the last 5 minutes.
I don't need your attitude.
No attitude, man.
All right, here we go.
Let me go turn this. Let me go. Let me go turn this food down, man. I'll be right back.
All right, yeah, you go.
Sorry about that.
No, no, you could. Stretch out. Ugh. Okay, just let me know when you're ready to do this.
Go ahead, man.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Unique New York.
Man, start the damn show.
Welcome to episode 3 of Fantasy Friends. I am your host, Magellan, and this is my other host,
Akimbo. Can we still not figure out what the heck our titles are?
No.
I think it's co-host. We're both co-hosts.
So would I say I'm co-host Magellan and you're co-host Akimbo Merck?
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
It doesn't. Something's wrong with that. We need to Google that.
Yeah.
We need to get Googler. Go find out what our title should be.
Google.
No, I work with Googler. I fire Googler.
So episode 3, we're having a ton of fun with it, man. I'm getting really good feedback. We're getting positive push. Exactly what we wanted. Good feedback. So, man, I mean, I'm super excited. I'm excited that the show is doing and taking off like it is.
Yeah, man, you are, man. You've been really excited, and I love that. I love the fire behind the feedback and everything that you've been doing for the show, man. I just want to applaud your effort. Golf clap.
Yes.
That you put into into getting the show up and running, man. So I honestly want to say thank you.
Yeah, for sure, but it takes two to make a thing go right. You know what I mean?
It does, Rob Bass. It does. So, man, what's been going on in your life, man? I know there's some new video games out. We know you've been ditching work. Oh, can I say that on the air? I just did. No, but seriously, man, what's been up with you, man?
Man, everything's
you've been saving for the show.
Yeah, everything's been good, man. And we had a situation and kind of that popped up, at work where I had to let someone go and then have to go through the rehiring process and everything. And being that, it's kind of weird for me because I'm used to gaming a lot. You know what I mean? I'm used to being with you guys, with you and Wave and Trigger Rick and LLHJ, and we'll just throw out DaVinci, even though we never play with them, just to give him a shout out.
He's not a real gamer, man. Don't insult other gamers by calling that dude a gamer. He's a dad. He's a dad now, man. He's probably changing a diaper, burping a baby right now.
Nobody told you to have twins.
He's like Tony Danza from Who's the Boss. You know what I mean? Just doing it all right now, man.
No, man, but it's exciting, It's exciting because that is done now, and now I can get back to what gaming with you guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one thing. I know that some. I know Wave, which is a buddy of ours, has been saying, hey, man, we don't see Magellan too much. And everybody knows what's been going on. And they kind of know when I'm away, it's something of need that needs to be done. I just still feel, and I don't know if you feel like this or not, but I'm the type of person that I feel, even though you guys don't care, I still feel like I let people down when I don't game with them.
Well, I think because we all look at you as our kind of de facto leader, and so when we play a lot of social games or multiplayer games, and so when we're out there and it's 3 against four, or we got what we like to call randoms on our team,
Yeah.
it's like, man, where the heck is Magellan? We need our fourth, and so it's like the Power Rangers, but just five of us. I mean, four of us. How many Power
Yeah.
Rangers in there?
There's 5 Power Rangers, and
Okay,
then if you include Tommy, would that be 6?
he's the Green Ranger.
Yeah, he's the Green Ranger.
I honestly did not grow up watching the Power Rangers. I think that was more of a DaVincis thing. Actually, I remember me being a big fan. It was one of those things where it was after kind of my childhood.
Oh yeah,
age.
where you're moving from that age into the next level.
Right. Yeah. So he was a big Power Ranger guy. Not me though. But hey, he enjoyed it. Now I was Voltron. Now I can tell you about some Voltron, man, which is original Power Rangers.
Yeah. No, man, but it's that. I mean, that's really what's been going on. I mean, I'm just excited. That's done and out of the way. I think the guy's going to work out great, and now I'm getting back into it. But there's and it's not really a snag because I love playing with you guys and I love spending time with you guys. And Fallout 4, which for a lot of people don't know, that was a really big game that just came out, and it has it's had a huge following. And it just kind of came out at the time where this is ending, so it feels like I'm kind of compelled. Us? Yeah, now it's straight
that you're abandoning your crew. No, that's what we feel. We feel that too.
So
you don't care.
And so now
I sold my PlayStation, so
you just went off and sold it.
I was like, he's not coming back. I'm going to sell this.
You switched over to the Xbox side?
No, heck no. I'm doing crochet now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them old ladies are not leaving me. I know they're going to be there every Tuesday at 3.
Yeah. And the only way they're going to leave you is...
We don't talk about that. It's part of life. It's the circle of life.
It goes... It happens.
We don't talk about it. All we try to do is finish our projects. It's winter's coming. We got to get those hats made. We got to get those gloves made, a couple of scarves, and we're real close.
Yeah.
I could depend on them. I can't depend on you.
But that being said, man, the game is a solitary, it's a single game. It's a single player game, which most companies don't do anymore. A lot of people hit that multiplayer, but it's good because I reached out to you guys. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I reached out to you guys about a store having a buy two get one free video game,
right?
And talking to you guys, I realized that it wasn't worth it because there's no other games that are really out there. Plus, this game's going to take a lot of time.
Right.
We have the Star Wars game Battlefront coming out next week, which we're going to jump into together.
Okay.
And then the week after that, I know a good amount of us are going to get Rainbow Six.
Now, do you think they had this buy one or buy two get one free because all these games are coming out, or because they got all this backlog of games and they need to get ready for the big Christmas sale, so they got to kind of clear their shelves?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
How long is this going to last? Do you remember how long this sale is for?
Only until Saturday or Sunday. It's only a week.
Okay. All right. So it's kind of like when McDonald's has too many chicken nuggets in the freezer and they start giving them away pretty much.
Exactly.
20 pieces for like $2.50.
Or if you luck out, they got some Egg McMuffins. Ooh, man. Give me some Egg McMuffins. You know what? Mm-hmm. And I want to get it, and I know we're talking about, what's going on, and this is one thing that irks me just a tad.
Okay.
McDonald's has all-day breakfast. Okay?
Okay.
I'm a big fan of McDonald's breakfast, but only the Egg McMuffins, right? That's my niche. That's my
sausage McMuffins with egg are the bomb. All that other stuff you can keep. You give me a sausage McMuffin with egg with the muffin toasted just right every morning.
Yeah.
And I'm in heaven.
And that's fine. I could do that too, but here's the problem. Is McDonald's lied to us. It's not all day breakfast. It's all day. I want to pick what I feel like you guys are going to eat breakfast. And on top of that,
I don't know. I worked for McDonald's I was a manager at McDonald's for a long time, and I know a lot about their setup and breakdown between lunch and breakfast,
Yeah.
and and the way they got their grills and all of that set up. So yeah, some of the breakfast food you can't cook. First of all, it's unhealthy to cook some food on one grill and then the breakfast food on one grill and then the lunch food on that same grill. You just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like, okay, I need to make some eggs and then turn around and put hamburgers on that same grill.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And I'm sure most stores have two grills. They probably even got more than that now, but
Yeah.
and that's it. That's why I think they had to pick what they can serve and what they couldn't serve.
And
That's just my
okay, and that's fine, right? Let's just roll with that. Here's the
Right.
problem I have is if you look at a map, okay, of the United States,
geography.
my region, which is North Carolina, down to Florida,
Right.
kind of Georgia, kind of this circle in the bottom right corner of the
Okay.
United States,
kinda
does
weird.
not serve Egg McMuffins in their all-day breakfast.
Really?
Nothing McMuffin. Nothing.
The Egg McMuffin is like the Big Mac of breakfast.
That's what I said. But
Yeah, that's
here they
weird.
got all their biscuit stuff because
You're in the
it's
South.
the South. Whatever,
You're in the
dude. Come on.
South.
The South.
That's
What
why.
is this? 1950? Come on.
Yes, it is.
No.
Pretty much the South. You guys are pretty much in the 1950s still.
That's
no, but that
ridiculous.
makes sense. They probably even have biscuits and gravies at your McDonald's.
No,
And-
they don't even have that. They don't even
They don't have
gravy
that?
with it. No.
I know a lot of McDonald's are regional, especially in the United States. But when you get out of the country, of course, they're gonna have stuff that pertains to that particular culture. But yeah, I can see the biscuits being. So what do they have? Like the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit must be like their main.
I
sandwich.
guess. I don't know. It's disgusting. It's not McMuffin.
It's not-
It's not a McMuffin. So I was disappointed about that. I get it on a scale perspective with whatever, but come on, man, give me an egg. I wanted Egg McMuffins at 5 p.m, and you
Right.
can get Egg McMuffins in the 5 p.m. I can't. Makes me jealous.
I had of
Makes
course
me
when they
jealous.
said breakfast in the
Hurts my feelings.
Hurts
my feelings.
What? It hurts your feelings.
Hurts my feelings.
Did you want me to give you a virtual hug?
Yes.
Go ahead, take a.
You're
about
not
now?
reaching.
okay?
Everyone, if you look at him, he's not reaching for his virtual hug.
So I think about your virtual hug.
My arms are wide open.
Your arms are extended and it's creepy. But yeah, man. So, what's been going on with me? What have I been saving for the
Hold
show?
on, shouldn't I say that? So, hey, man, that's what's been going on with me. What's been going on with you? What have you say for the show?
Well, Chris, I'm glad you asked. What's been going on with me lately? Well, let me tell you. Again, I said on the last show, I try to keep things honest and raw, but I ain't gonna tell you all my business. Yeah, man, I think I am dealing with more depression than I really originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody goes through some things that bring them down, but most people are able to bounce back. I haven't been able to bounce back like I want to.
Yeah.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, having some problems at the job and then stressing over some things here at the house. But I don't like the little rut that I've been in. And so this past weekend, last Friday, man, I was just like in the lowest of the low. I was like, whatever low is, I was 10 feet below that,
Man.
And so, oh man, I got a cousin. And I've told you about my group of friends, but one of them is my cousin, and it's 5 of us,
Yeah.
6 of us, depending on if one of them comes out. They all rallied around me Friday, man, and it was the best thing, man. We got together, we hung out, had a drink, ate, laughed, cracked jokes, watched some basketball, man, and it really lifted my spirit. And I think what I had been missing, and what my cousin was telling me is that, it can't be all work. It can't be all concern. It can't be all worry, And he's like, yeah, we chat and stuff. We talk on the forums, when a game is on, or we, send a funny text or something like that. But
Yeah.
we hadn't got together and hung out. I haven't got outside of my routine for so long
Yeah.
that the routine was dominating me. And so it was only thing that was on my mind, and only thing that was really on my heart at the time. And so I needed to step outside of my house, step outside of my job, step outside of all those worries, and just relax and laugh, man. And I did that Friday, and I went from being in the lowest of the low to the highest of the high. And I think, I want to take blame for that, because I do come home and I socialize with you, and Wavo and Trigger and DaVinci and L, and we game and we laugh and stuff. I
Yeah.
think the problem is that I do it on my couch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like sitting in the middle of the whirlwind of life
Yeah.
and trying to have fun, as opposed to getting outside of that situation and having fun. And that's what I needed to do. And it was a great thing. So that switched my mood 100%, or what do they call it? 180, turn me around, 180,
Yeah.
360 degrees.
I guess
Whatever.
it just depends on how much it turned you around. Did it turn you around like where you're going completely opposite, or did it turn you around like 360 where it's like, pow, new person?
No. So yeah, it flipped me like a pancake. And so
A nice chocolate pancake.
nice chocolate pancake. I don't like fruit. Chocolate in my pancakes. I like strawberries. If you want to know. But Saturday, I got up and me and my wife went to go see James Bond,
Yeah.
which was huge. I was able to get a babysitter, and you know who you are. I thank you so much for allowing me to get out with my wife and have some fun.
And I've
Go ahead.
never seen someone give so much praise to a locked bathroom door for watching your kids. Like you did.
And on that note, we're gonna take a break. I want you not to mention that. I left him bread and water. No,
Nah, man,
my dad actually came over and played granddaddy
That's
for a
awesome.
while, and I loved it, man. I love when they're with my dad. Because I can see my dad and my kids, which is really cool. So that's just kind of where I was, man. And yeah, I needed to get out of my routine. I was having fun, like I said, playing with you guys, but I needed to get out of my situation,
Yeah.
kind of look at it from the outside looking in. So I'm in a much better place, but I'm still a little down, and I'm still working on that, which is new for me. This is all new territory for me,
Yeah.
man. If you know me, and if you've known me the 40 years I've been on this planet, this is so new to me. I'm the guy that's going to encourage you. I'm the guy that's going to give you a scripture to lift you up. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's going to crack a joke and make you laugh. I'm the guy that's going to tell you to look at something that is so serious, but with a different point of view, so you can really see it for what it's for.
Yeah.
And my cousin was that guy for me this past weekend, man, and I love him for it, and I needed that. So
Yeah. That's awesome.
hey, that's
man.
it.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And it makes a good point. It's not. We talk about how we game together, how we talked it, all the time, and we know each other and built a relationship through that. But you need
Fantasy friends.
fantasy friends.
Fantasy friends.
You need to. I mean, everybody does. Just like we talked about last episode, we talked about kind of that personal space.
Right.
You need a good balance also of being out there and physically being around other people as well.
Yes.
You can't be all
Yes.
in this, and people through the headset is one thing. It's another thing to go out and have a game night, or go watch a game, or go have drinks, or go eat, or go spend some time, go to the movie with your wife, or whatever. Right. You're out, and it's almost like just taking a break from the norm and getting you back to that relationship, whether it's with your wife or friends or family. You're getting that bonding that's going on that you can't get. You can only get so much on the couch through a microphone.
You're just not loving me enough, Chris, is what it comes down to. I'm not feeling it. I'm reaching out. You're not reaching back. I'm
reaching.
But you make a great point. And so that's what our show is going to be about a little bit today. So if you know me and Chris, you should know us by now. At the core of our relationship, our friendship. When you say relationship, it sounds creepy. Uh, I don't need to see butterfly fingers, sir. Um, is video games is how we met, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, is playing video games too much? Is that a bad thing, or is it a good thing? So, what are the pros and cons of video games? That's our topic today. We're going to take this break, and we're going to come back. I'm going to play this. I'm going to pick a side, and Chris is going to pick a side, and then we're going to debate. And I think it's only natural that I pick the side of video games are bad for you.
Wow, why would you do that? I was so surprised. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break and then we'll get into that.
Darth Vader's my hero. All right, be right back.
Honestly,
you're just a ball of excitement, dude. You're like these kittens running around my house.
Dude, I'm telling you, just out of the support from you as a co-host and the support of like people around me who I really didn't think were really even gonna give it a shot.
Right.
It's hard to squeeze this big head through the door in and out.
All right, well, welcome back to episode 3 of Fantasy Friends. We really need to quit singing. Somebody's shaking their head at us right now. It's like, oh, quit singing. Or
they're wishing that shirt was available.
I don't think anybody's wishing that.
You don't think so?
Maybe after like episode 5? No. But let's get back into our topic today, man. Pros and cons of video games. I am Akimbo Merck. In case you didn't recognize my voice yet, I am going to take the cons of playing video games, and my friendly partner host.
We're going to get it one day.
My partner host is going to take the pros of playing video games. So
before we jump in, why were you so eager? I felt like an eagerness to take the con. Like why? Like why? Because usually, when you game,
right? You know why? Because I think it's easy for me. What'd you say?
You didn't think I was going to do it?
No. I think because I have such a love for video games, it's interesting to see what people say negative about it. Yeah. Because I looked at a couple of articles, watched a video or two about this, but it's really interesting to see what people say about it. And off the record, I kind of agree with some of it.
Oh, boy. But off the record on a recording of a podcast.
I'm going to tell you what I agree with and why I agree with that little bit of it. Okay. All right. But you go first. You are pro. Tell me what you love about video games. Tell me why video games, it's good to play video games.
Well, I think we should start with kind of how we got into video games to kind of give a little, because everybody's got their kind of story, right?
Okay, that's important. All right.
So my whole thing was this, growing up.
That's a great story, Chris. So this is how I got into
Yeah, go ahead.
Games.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.
I'm just joking, man. If I tell how I got into video games, then that's a pro for video games, and that's not my position.
Well, it doesn't matter because we're debating here. So
no, man, I'm all negative. I'm all negative. I'm the emperor today, baby. I'm Darth Vader killing Padawans today.
And there you go. Strictly, the debate has been won in my favor, clearly because your backstory is all about pros to gaming.
Okay, I'm going to tell my story from the negative point of view. So
wow.
I grew up like most kids. I was born in the 70s, mid 70s. And so we grew up around ColecoVisions, Ataris, then into Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo and Sega, and then finally PlayStation and Xboxes. So, but I was probably about 13 years old. I was playing Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers in my basement, my mom's basement, and there was this young lady who had rode her bike like across town to see me.
Wow!
At that time, I had zero interest in the ladies. It to
Yeah.
me it was I was about football, video games, of course, and probably still playing with my action figures at that time.
And you're probably annoyed that she was even over there.
Not only annoyed, but kind of clueless why she was over
Yeah,
there. So
okay.
this girl really liked me,
Hmm.
and they always say women are more mature than men, and I think she was more mature than I was. Well, I know she was more mature than I was, um, at the time. Now, granted, the week before we had a little makeout session, kissing and all that
What?
stuff.
Hold on. So you so so your previous like 2 minutes of statement before this makes no
Well,
sense.
I have to say that because it's part of the reason why this is a video game. All right.
Because you
So,
just said, oh, I wasn't really into girls at the time. Oh,
but I wasn't.
might I tell you, a week before this, we had a sexy makeout sesh.
Sexy makes it sound creepy at 13. At 13, you're just learning. You know what? I hit the first base or something like that, and so um, it was what it was. It was at a barbecue. It was what it was,
Hmm.
and that was it. Man, I went back home. I'm ready to play some Super Mario Bros. I really
Yeah.
got to beat this level. But she made the effort to ride her bike over to my house. And so, hey, you come over to hang out? Cool. Here's a joystick. She wasn't there for a joystick. Okay, wait, well, not a joystick by Nintendo. Sorry, can I say that on there? I just did. But I want to be honest with you. Now, for most boys, 13 years old, 14 years old, girl comes to see them and she's looking for some nookie. Video games got to go.
Mm.
Now, and so from a con point, I didn't get nookie that night because I was too worried about saving the princess and Mario.
Wow, so that's a con for you.
Not for me, but I'm just presenting it from the con point of view. That's all I'm saying, bro. So most people say, hey, man, because kids who didn't play video games and who were into that type of stuff would have said, "Oh man, you missed the opportunity."
Hmm.
I didn't even see it as opportunity, dude. She could have been there with $1 million in her hand, and I would have missed it because I had no interest in
Yeah.
in that facet of my life at that point.
Yeah,
So
so the outlook on that is pro because you don't have a 20-year-old kid.
pretty much. But the con of it was I missed a second makeout section, makeout session. Yeah.
Some
So
co-op.
I'm the
Split
emperor today.
screen.
Yeah, I should have knocked the socks off of her. Don't even sound right. I can't even say it. Don't even sound right. But that's my story, man.
Yeah.
It's a kid of the '70s, born in the '70s. So I played all the pretty much major video game consoles growing up.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me, man, I started young. I mean, I was born mid '80s, and first game I ever played, man, it was Legend of Zelda. It was on the Nintendo, the regular Nintendo, the NES, and I just remember it, man. It was in my brother's kind of makeshift. It was like a garage. It was a detached garage that we had built for that my dad had done for him. Because
Okay.
the space in the house, it wasn't enough. It was a 2-bedroom house. So it
Right.
was my mom and dad's room, and then it was me and my brother. But then my oldest brother, he was kind of on the couch. He didn't really have a space. So when we moved in, we took that detached garage we were never going to use, which kind of set awkwardly in the backyard. So
Yeah.
you kind of had to drive past the house through the gate to get to it.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
so they did that, and it's probably the worst mistake they could have done because,
He probably loved that.
he loved it, but I mean, all the trouble that ensued afterwards
What happens in the garage stays in the
garage.
garage. Man,
So-
I dreamed about my childhood garage last night, man. That was crazy. But go ahead. I just thought that was weird that you mentioned that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. But that's where it started, man. It started there, and it was my brother had the NES there, and so we would go out there and we go play because he actually took the NES from our room whenever he left. So he
Sure.
took that. We had to go out there and we had to play. And I just remember, man, it was good memories for me because it was my two older brothers there. and I was playing, and sometimes they would too, but they were really just doing whatever. They were hanging out with each other, and I was just there,
Right.
man. They were background to me, and I was just so into video games, and it just kind of latched for me,
Right.
and all of a sudden, we moved, and then the Super Nintendo came out, and then you had then you had the Sega Genesis, and then you had, we rolled into PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and it just kind of, it was always, gaming's always been there.
Right.
But one thing that I know we're going to talk about that I'll get into right now is I had a very good balance when it came to video games, and people think gamers are these guys who go sit on the couch 5-6 hours out of the night every night
Uh-oh.
on the weekends.
Uh-oh.
People basically what you just
saying, bro,
described
you're getting into
yourself.
that territory.
So, people think that that's all gamers are about, especially when you think gamer, you think, okay, 13-year-old who's cursing up a storm, playing Call of Duty, and that's just not a typical gamer, and for me, my balance, my parents did a good job balancing, and whether it was just out of discipline, which I don't think it was. I think it was more, hey, get out of the house because I want time to myself. Like, we would literally get kicked out of the house and the door locked on us on Saturdays.
Right.
So we wouldn't come back. We couldn't come back to the house until nighttime, till dinner.
You want me to call the people for you?
Back then, I don't even think they existed.
And the people didn't exist. That's why our parents used to do that to us. Dude, I can remember being a kid, man, and there being a block party, and you would be out 11, 12 at night with your friends, and as long as there was music playing and barbecue smoke in the air, parents didn't care.
No,
the
they
parents
didn't.
didn't care, man, because they felt like you were safe.
Yeah.
And we were up and down the street, in and out of the house, swapping out toys and all of that. But oh yeah,
No, man, and that's how it is. I mean, that's exactly how it is. People back then, and it's a lot different now, but back
Right.
then, you're right. If people were out there, if there's a group of people out there, you're good, man. Everybody took care of each other in the neighborhood.
yep,
Yep. So, but that was the kind of start to me, man. I got in it super early, and I just had a knack for it. I really did. I was, excuse me, I was solving things that probably, I might have been a little above mine at the time. Just as far as, Zelda and playing Super Mario and stuff like that at a younger age. But I just kind of got into it, man. I never let it go. And for me, video games have been there for me, through some tough times. They really have.
right.
There's
Sounds
some.
Is that your first pro?
Yeah, I mean, my pro is, I would say my first pro is, video games help me switch directions in my life. So I got into some trouble when I
Wow.
was a kid, and I was actually a juvenile at the time. So I got into some trouble, and I did it just out of pure excitement.
Stupidity?
What's
Oh.
that?
Stupidity?
Yeah, it's stupidity.
Okay. Just wanted to hear you say
The
it.
thrill of it, just thinking, I don't know, man. I just did it because, I thought I could do it and get away with it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
that's what we did as kids because we could. You know what I mean? We did stupid stuff because we could, man.
And
I mean, you guys did. I was an angel. But go ahead. Just clarify that.
look at
I
that
didn't sleep
halo.
with
Look at that
girl.
halo. above
I
your
didn't
head.
sleep with that girl. I saved the princess. No nookie for me. Mom, I didn't have nookie in your basement. That time. Go ahead.
Oh boy, I hear this coming on Sunday morning brunch. So tell me what happened in the basement.
Ooh. Well, Bowser and hey, don't give me that Bowser stuff, boy. Who's this little fast girl?
Princess Peach?
Pete, right? She's really not that fast, but I think she can float. In that. Anyway, go ahead, Mom.
Yeah, man. And for me, it was, it was a time where some changes were going on. I was becoming a teenager. My older brother actually was about to leave for the military, the army, or maybe he had. I'm not for sure exactly. Actually, no, I don't think he was then. He hadn't left yet, but he was always out and about. He was always partying and out. I didn't see him too much, And then
Okay.
my other brother, who was between me and him, who was 2 years older than me, he was out all the time. He was at that teenage, years where he was out and doing whatever. And for me, I had a younger brother, but we were 6 years apart.
Okay.
And so I didn't really have anything. He was just too young to do anything. So, I mean, if he wanted to play games with me, cool, but he usually didn't. He was watching cartoons or crying about something. So for me, I leaned on game.
Instead of crying about something.
I leaned on video. Yeah, I leaned on video games then, and this was when the 64 was out, the
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, and started leaning on that. And then I started trying to maybe be what kind of my brothers, like going out all the time, trying to find a reason to stay out,
That's natural.
yeah, just trying to get out of the house, trying to be social, which I was. I was never a kind of bottled up guy. I had friends. I had, played football. I was on team sports. There was no problem with that,
Right.
but I was trying to do it kind of outside of school. I was hanging out with the guys and the people outside of school, the guys who race cars, the guys who, broke into things just to
The
be
cool
mischief.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the quote unquote cool kids. And
Right.
I got into some trouble, and got in front of a judge, and the judge,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, I haven't heard this story yet, I don't think.
yeah,
You went before the man, huh?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh wow. You were bad. You should apologize. Go ahead.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So, and this is where I was getting more into church at the same time too, and I was just trying to.
Wait. So you were going before the judge on Friday, but Sunday you were going before the judge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No, see, and this was the weird transition for me. And I know I'm about to jump back on the games, but the transition for me was I was at a part of my life in those teenage years where I didn't know my brothers were disappearing. I was starting to not like school as much. I was starting to hang out with people outside of school. I was starting to turn kind of that leaf to probably where parents don't want their kids going, that alleyway,
You know,
And-
as the emperor, I'm excited because it sounds like you're coming to the dark side, Anakin. Good.
and so-
good. Let that anger flow through you, Magellan.
And so it was also trying out church. This wasn't all bad. I was just trying to find a footing in life somewhere. I don't know. I guess that's the best way to describe it. So what happened. I got before a judge, and he actually, believe it or not, it was just straight coincidence. I went on. I think it was Thursday. Well,
Okay.
Wednesday I was actually in church, and Wednesday this judge was actually the guest speaker, and he was going over drugs, and he was going over, how they used to have those like cops and judges and stuff that come in.
Yeah, that's
And
really interesting.
so
Okay.
he was there, and he did notice me. He noticed me because
He's like, that's that little bad boy that I almost had to send to juvie.
yeah. Well, see, no, I hadn't been yet. So Wednesday happened,
Oh, okay.
right? And then Thursday was the very next day was the court date. So I
Okay.
go in there and he recognizes me, and I have the whole youth group with me, behind me, backing me up.
Really? In court, you got the whole youth
Yeah,
group?
yeah. They
Oh
all
my God,
support-
dude, this ain't an after school special, bro. This is hilarious. Go ahead, man.
So he
Were
was
they
like,
singing?
he was.
Take him to the Lord. Take him to the Lord. Or was
Yes,
it
Jesus.
little light of mine? I'm sorry. Go ahead, man. I could just see them singing, bro.
No,
or just
it wasn't.
Or like humming real soft.
It would be sweet.
Mhm.
It would be sweet if they did, but it didn't happen like that.
Oh,
But
dude.
so, long story short, he gave me an opportunity. He's like, listen, I get it. Don't mess up again. I don't think you're going to mess up again. You're in good hands. So go, he gave me probation and they gave me all my community service. So I was
Wow.
going through that. So here's where gaming comes in. And I know it's long winded, like I usually am. But gaming comes in at this point. Those friends that I got in trouble with, those quote unquote cool friends,
Cool
my
kids.
quote
Yeah.
friends, they were trying to reach out to me big time. Hey, where you at? Hey, come out and hang out. Hey, do this. Gaming was my way to get out of that. Hey, listen, man, sorry, I can't. There's no way I can get out. There's no way I can sneak out. I was giving them, I was lying to them blatantly to stay out of trouble. And gaming kept me where I was. It kept me solid. It kept me in the house. It kept me away from them for that transition to where they stopped calling me. They stopped.
Okay.
They didn't care. They didn't really care. They just wanted to get in more mischief. They just wanted to me to be a part of the group. They didn't care about me.
Come do dirt with us. Yeah.
So-
I mean, misery loves company. So I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's a great story, and I want to hear more about it because for you to go before a judge and get probation, I do want to know why.
Yeah.
But you know what, Chris? The con to that position is that I think video games are adding to youth violence.
Yeah.
I think video games like the Call of Duties and the Battlefields are teaching kids that it's okay to kill people. I think that God, do you hear me trying to say this stuff with a straight face? This is very hard.
Go ahead, Darth.
No, but the
Darth Merc.
the dialogue out there for cons is that video games contribute to youth violence, and they say that it desensitizes kids to violence.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of video games that have you picking up a gun, shooting another human, not just aliens, not just robots, but other humans. And so, what do you think about that? Do you think that's true? Or do you think that's not true?
Well, I don't think it's true.
Okay.
Deep down inside, I don't think it's true. And the reason why is because, we were playing games like that too. Maybe it wasn't as real graphic wise,
Right.
but I grew up playing, Contra. I grew up playing games where you're shooting people and you're still,
Right.
I grew up, and this might be a whole nother podcast episode, but I just grew up different. I grew up with a lot of violent games.
Right.
That people are like scratching their head and they're like, oh man, this isn't proper for this guy at his age, which it probably wasn't, but my parents didn't care. They're like, he's here, he's in the house, he's fine. He's not going out getting in trouble, he's fine. It's not, it wasn't doing any, I was just a normal kid. I was considered a normal kid.
Right.
And there's actually, I actually found some really good, I guess, stats.
Right.
Actually getting into that, and I'm just trying to find it here. I didn't think this topic was gonna come out. It was gonna actually.
I could definitely help you out, man. The report I read said that, I cannot believe I'm being a Jedi now. The report I read said that actually video games have caused youth violence and the crime rate for youth to significantly decrease.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it basically goes back to what you're saying. If you're at home in front of a TV, you're not out in front of a convenience store. You're not breaking into somebody's house with their car. You're not loitering. You're not at a party underage drinking. There's a lot of things that you're not doing when you're at home playing video games. So that's the pro to it. But I guess I got to keep going on this because, like I said, it's gonna be real hard for me to take this position. But the whole thing that happened in Colorado, the Columbine incident, they were trying to say that these kids were influenced by video games,
Mm-hmm.
um, but there were movies that correlated more with what they did, as opposed to video games. And not to pick on movies, but we were watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger's, Sylvester Stallone movies way before violent video
Yeah.
games came out, and those movies, while we did go outside and role play as Rambo, or as the Terminator, we had our toy guns and we kind of, like again, role play those. It didn't make me go out and stick up somebody. It didn't make me go out and rob somebody. It didn't make me want to go out and buy a real gun and really hurt somebody. To me, now this is just me speaking, it
Mm-hmm.
kept everything into perspective. I grew up on a ranch. Spent my summer on the ranch in
Dude
Arkansas,
Ranch.
in a dude ranch in
Cowboy
Arkansas,
Murray.
right? Where when you fell asleep at night, there was a gun hanging off the side of my grandpa's bed,
Yeah.
and if you looked under his bed, there were 3 rifles, and we knew not to touch, and actually really didn't have any interest in touching though,
Yeah.
even having access to it. So, I think there's more things that contribute to what we kind of saw in Columbine and some of these other copycat crimes, but I don't think video games are the reason.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you, and I think that I should not even talk because basically you're just giving out pros.
Well, like I said, dude, it's really hard.
It's hard because
man.
you're passionate about gaming, and I actually found this, and I apologize for everyone listening that I didn't have this right in front of me. But back in 2005, it looks like it was a professor of communication, Henry Jenkins. He actually said, according to federal crime statistics, the rate of juvenile violent crime in the United States is at a 30-year low. Researchers find that people serving time for violent crimes typically consume less media before committing their crimes than the average person in the general population. It says it is true that young offenders who've committed school shootings in America have also been game players, but young people in general are more likely to be gamers. 90% of boys, 40% of girls play. The overwhelming majority of kids who play do not commit antisocial acts. So,
Can I just ask, where are the other 50% of women? If it's 90% boys and 40% girls, is 50% of you girls out there that are missing out? What are y'all doing?
yeah, and see, this is
Don't
okay.
need an answer.
Now
Just a
remember,
question.
this was 2005, is where this particular link comes, or this particular thing happens. And then, of course, there's a professor that alleges the link between video games and violence, and then there's and that was 2007, where basically same thing. He's basically saying claim that exposure to violent video games and other forms of media violence constitutes a significant risk factor. So he's basically saying, oh, it's just common sense that you introduce this to the minds of kids, that this is what's going to happen to them. So he didn't really have any dead set proof, Now
here's the interesting thing, and here's the counter to that argument, because when you look over world history, and not just American history, but world history, even in the Bible, it's full of violence.
Yeah.
What video game was Cain playing when he busted Abel in the head? You know what I mean? It's just, to me, it's a heart issue.
He's playing Pong, by the way.
Does music, does art and media influence you, and vice versa? Yes, but at the core of the issue, it's what's in your heart. How are you raised? What are your morals? And because, again, like I said, before movies and TV and all this other stuff, there was violence in the world, man. So to me, I think blaming video games is a cop out.
Yeah.
I think it's a cop out that I've seen religion take, that I've seen politicians take. I've seen, some of these parent groups take. I think that it really goes back to you paying attention to what your kid is doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Man, look at that. We just joined sides. This was, dude. This was
Nope,
epic.
I'm a
This
Sith.
this was. I feel like right now I'm Luke Skywalker, and this is
Okay.
Return of the Jedi. I feel
You
like
saving me?
Darth Vader is back. He's
I'm the
Anakin.
Emperor. I'm the Emperor, and I'm
No,
using Force lightning.
no, you can't do it. You're already Darth Vader.
But
Spoiler alert,
the
by the
other
way.
cons too. So I'll go to the next one. Let's keep it moving.
Go
So the
ahead.
other con is, and this is one that I kind of agree with, and I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Video games are a waste of time.
Ooh,
That's the
no.
statement. No, they are. Chris, when I am spending 5 hours playing video games, beating levels and accomplishing goals that mean nothing or add anything to the advancement of mankind, I could be researching the cure for cancer.
You could be.
I could be helping the homeless. I could be building shelters for pygmy ants. See, that's the con that I read, is that okay? Video games are a waste of time. I'm like, wow. I've felt like that before. The other thing that I like to do for the listeners is I'm a writer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been so many times that, man, I come home, I can sit on my laptop, or I can pick up the controller. And I pick up the controller a lot. There's been times I walked away from a story I was working on for months because I was into a video game. I didn't feel like I was wasting time, but there was a little resentment and guilt that I didn't finish working on a book or a story. So, are there things that you could be doing or accomplishing instead of playing video games
Mm-hmm.
that makes you feel that way? That maybe, hey, this is probably a waste of my time.
For me, it's not. and I think it goes
That eye
back
to the end.
and it goes back to what I said earlier this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to be apart from you guys for the last couple of weeks, but I had something that I had to take care of. And so I can set video games aside and say, "Hey, listen, I have to do this, and hey, everybody wants me on, but maybe I got to catch up on sleep, or maybe I need to spend time with the wife. Maybe I need to." She hates when I say that. Maybe I should spend time with my wife.
The wife.
The wife. The wife. You know what I mean?
Like she's just like the wife of the neighborhood. Yeah, man, I gotta hang out with the wife.
Yeah, the wife. But yeah, for me, there are times where I want to do something, but the reason, and I'm not gonna say it's not an excuse. The reason why I don't do something is because I feel that I can. It's nothing. I'm never putting anything ahead. I'm never putting video games ahead of anything important. Video games are great. They're good relaxing when I need to relax. It's awesome to be around you guys and play with you guys. You guys, be around you guys and play with you guys. but for me, I don't put anything of importance in front of or on the back burner because of games. Now, there are some things that I could be doing, but what I do honestly is I say, you know what, man, I'm having fun and I'm spending time with people who I really enjoy. So after I get done with this, yeah, I might have to pull another couple hours and do something that I had to get done earlier. But there's nothing ever that's going to set me and say, I'm not going to ruin my marriage over video games. Or I'm not going to lose my job over video games. Or I'm not going to lose friends over video games. And I made that a fact to have gamer friends only. That way you can't lose friends over video games.
I don't want any real life friends. I just don't. If you don't know how to play video games, don't call me. Okay, so keeping the show moving.
Yep.
Video games are a waste of money. And this is why. Mm-hmm. There is a game coming out. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I swear to goodness, I had it on the tip of my tongue. Yeah. It's a Kickstarter game, right? Mm-hmm. This guy has already put $30,000. This is a user into this Kickstarter for this video game.
Because he's passionate.
Is that a waste of money?
No, I guess you'd have to ask him. Apparently,
Okay.
it's not a waste of money for him. Hold on, let me call him up.
I'm gonna continue being evil, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a waste of money.
Okay.
So the return on the investment that we make into video games is, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here. I just don't want to say bad, but so the average video game costs 50 to 60 bucks, right?
Yeah.
A new video game that just came out. That's 50 to 60 bucks that you could be spending on something else or saving, right? So let's look at video games compared to other popular entertainment.
Okay.
A Netflix subscription was it 14 bucks a month now?
Yeah, I think it's around somewhere between 10, 14, depending on what you get.
I took my wife to the movie this weekend. It was a matinee, but it cost me 15 bucks for the tickets, right?
And then like 30 bucks for the popcorn?
Another 17 bucks for the popcorn and the drinks. So $32, $33, probably $35 with tax.
Yeah.
Right?
Plus gas.
Plus gas there. You're really reaching. You're reaching. But if you want to be entertained really outside of your home, whether it's going to a movie, going out to dinner, going to a play, going to a sporting event, or whatever, you're going to spend money. So I guess I'm kind of countering my argument, but
wow, you are building up a case and you're just destroying it. I love it. I'm just gonna walk away and you just give me a call when the podcast is over.
I told you this is gonna be hard for me.
No, but I applaud you for going that route. And for me, my counter to that was no, I don't think it's a waste of money. Could you be spending money on other things or saving it? Yeah, you could. But if I wouldn't have played games and spent money like I did, I wouldn't have you in my life.
No, you need me. It's obvious.
Like I wouldn't have the friends and the group that I have now, and the passion that we all have and we bring to games. I mean, we play. And we play, we're not super over competitive, but we play and we have fun with it. But I feel like we're all kind of a part of each other's lives, whether we like to think so or not. So I think that $60 that I spend, once every month or maybe even a couple of times a month.
Yes.
I think that is well worth it because if my buddies are getting hype into something, great. I bought Fallout. No one else is, I think L's the only one who bought it. But guess what? I'm going to go and I'm going to go buy Battlefront. Why? Because you're buying it. Sugar Rick's buying it. I know Wave's going to get it. L might get it. And guess what? The week after that, I'm going to spend another $60 and I'm going to get Rainbow Six. Why? Because Rick's going to get it. You're going to get it. Wave's going to get it.
Hey.
And that's what it's about. For me, it's not.
Right.
For me, it's like if I took out, my wife to go eat or something. We're going to go out and we're going to have fun and we're going to go eat and enjoy ourselves. And then we're going to do it another day and so on and so forth. Same thing with games. That's good. We're just, we're moving. You can't literally stay on one game for 2 years. It's not possible.
But now, okay, I'm supposed to be the emperor, but I'm a little Yoda right now. Let me get Yoda on you for a second, okay? Yeah. Average sporting event ticket. We'll use the NFL first. Probably about $120, right?
Man, I wish.
Depending on what city you're in, what team you're going to see.
Don't go see a Cowboys game.
Don't go see a Cowboys game, but that's $120, right?
Yeah.
Okay, a basketball game. Yeah, you can get nosebleed seats, probably around $25. Not bad. A movie. I just gave you the price of popcorn and tickets, right? Going out to dinner. For a couple, $35, $40 if you got advertisers. If you get drinks, $50, $60.
That's the point.
Here's the point that I'm making about video games. So I can buy a video game $60. I can play that video game for a year.
A prolonged, extended period of time.
There it is. That's the first point. But my second point is this. I can actually take that video game when I'm done with it and and go sell it at GameStop and walk back out of there with $20.
Yeah,
I've gotten my enjoyment out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the video game still has value. So it's not necessarily a waste of money if I've gotten enjoyment out of it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm able to go and sell it and make some money back. You can't do that with the other forms of entertainment that I did, right? So
No,
is it
you're
really
right.
a waste of money?
Yeah, so I
Yoda
think
says no.
invest
Yoda says no.
investing in a game is worth it because you have a game $60, but it's going to last you a long time, and it's going to last you, and you're going to have a lot more memories and a lot more conversating and a lot more bonding over that, 2, 3, 6 months versus a game. Yeah, it's super exciting to go see the Cowboys play, but I mean, that's there, it's done, it's super exciting. I still have memories and pictures of it, but it just it's not the now, and I can't talk about the Cowboys game I went to see forever.
Who cares? There's another game coming on next week.
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, I agree with that, and I mean, you're the most awfulest defendant attorney in the world.
All right, then let's get deep. Here's another con against video games. I hear this one all the time. You gave the stat that 90% of young boys play video games, only 40% of women play video games, right?
Yeah.
Because they say video games portray women as sexual objects, and they portray violence against women as being okay. Now, I'm going to let you deal with that one. There it is.
So I do agree that there has been, in the gaming community, there has been a lack of care for females in general. There really has been, because you do see their characters as half naked, their breasts, all protruding out, and it's all. I think the reason why it's like that is because gaming, even though you did have some girls who played it, mostly it was mostly guys at the time. No girls wanted to. They weren't into that, And I'm not
even the developers and creators too, because that's the other part of that too, is that these games are being made by dudes.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing I do say on that is I agree that is happening, and I agree that it still happens, but I do like here the last couple years how there's been a big push for female characters who are starting roles, who are not so fighting in a thong and and pasties, you know what I mean, like a realistic realistic hero of a game. And it just goes to Fallout 4. Never in my mind would I picture having a female. You could play the whole game as a female or as a male. They give you that option. They're giving the options now they're making it equal now, where females are saying, or women or girls are saying, hey, I don't want to be just a dude. How come women can't be heroes? How come women can't be in action games? How come women can't do this? How come girls can't play with Legos and go dirt bike riding? I think that I know.
I don't know where the Legos comment came from, but that was way off base.
Well, I'm just just in general life, how life has been lately. It's always, why do girls have to play with Barbies? Why do they have to stay inside?
I don't want to hear this. I'm evil. So let me ask you this. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Have you seen Nookie in Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Have you seen the Nookie? Have you seen naked women in Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you watch The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Have you seen violence against women in The Walking Dead?
Yes.
You have. Okay. So I just put out those two popular TV shows, and I know there are a ton more where there's violence and there's nudity, just like you see in video games.
Yeah.
Right? So why are we singling out video games?
I mean, it's just because it's an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
really is. It's harder to people don't take gaming seriously, and it's ridiculous that they don't, because people this man, the gaming generation right now is ridiculous. What was it, 13, 14 billion dollars last year?
Right.
It's
Right.
incredible of how gaming is now. I mean, it's absurd of how it started, way back then, and then how it is now. And it's still, people don't take gaming serious. People don't see people who play games as a serious thing. They just kind of write it off, and it's like, oh, well, this guy plays Dungeons and Dragons. It's like the same thing.
Which brings me to the next con. I'm trying to keep the show moving.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Video games are they're not art.
Well, I mean, come on. Yeah,
Is that true or false?
it's false.
Why?
You know how much creativity and how much molding you have to get to go into a video game? And
No,
you're not
tell me.
and you're not talking about okay, there's plenty of different types of art. Let's get common sense, drawings, music. That takes a
There you
lot
go.
of thought, takes a lot of creativity. In gaming, guess what? Someone just doesn't randomly turn on a computer and it generates a character. It doesn't generate the land. It doesn't generate
Yes.
how birds act.
Yes.
When you do a video game, and I'm not putting video game art above anything else. I'm
Why not?
all hard as
Why not though?
Well,
Why not? We have seen some beautiful pieces of work. We have turned on some video games and we're just floored by how real it looked,
Yeah.
but how beautiful the landscape look or the backdrop looks, right?
Yeah,
We've
and-
done that, right?
yeah, absolutely. But what I'm
So what's art? Not because this one gets me when they say, "Oh, video game isn't art." How video games is probably the little brother to movies. So let's look at what goes into making a video game.
and that's where you might even be. It might not even be the little brother anymore.
No, not anymore.
Because-
Financially, it's the big brother now.
Because look at what you got to get into a game. Okay, you take a white room, and you have to make that room whatever that game is. You have to make this,
Great.
and then it's just a room, and then you have to make another room, and then another one, and you got to multiply that. If you're talking a free roam world, you're talking times 10,000 rooms, and each one has a character. Each one has, the grass is bent a little different. The wind flows this way. What do the animals do? How do the animals react to you? How does your player look? How does the clothes on the player flow? All that is art. All that is
art. You're
creativity.
just not right. You're just not pointing and then clicking and dropping the deer. And that you have to design that deer from the hoof, up. You have to.
You're creating a world, and it's even books. And I mean, you might struck a chord with me here because, like, I feel like I'm going into passion mode.
Go for it.
And even like a book. Okay, you're writing a book. Oh, it's inspiration.
Yeah, it's a great
and
example.
let's just say like a famous Harry Potter books. Okay, let's just not take the films out of it, just the books. All this writing is super creative. She did an amazing job with all the details in her book. All right. Now imagine not only writing this story, but now imagine actually putting it on so someone can view it. But not only that, now imagine not only telling a story and putting it in front of someone, but now them actually controlling the story. You have writing, you have movies, and you have basically
music. Don't forget music.
No,
music is huge.
There's so much in there. You can control a movie. You can I mean, video games are so big now, and it's crazy that people are just kind of rolling the same thing. It's just they just don't know it, and it's like anything else you don't know. Oh well, I've always disliked video games, or people who play video games. They're just kind of nerds, or they kind of eggheads, or they kind of sit in a room by themselves, or they kind of stay to themselves in their group. That's not true at all. It's just, trust me, if anyone gave video games opportunity, whether it's whatever you want to get into, whether it's Little Big Planet to Mario games, whatever, you're going to find something you like. And you're
Well,
going
yeah,
to,
don't forget the handheld, the phone games too. The one with the Candy Crush. You know,
yeah,
it just sold for $1 billion.
crazy.
You know, and so, but I think, you know, and we'll wrap up the show because I think we made some good points, and I really failed at being evil.
Yeah, you
But
did.
I did. I just suck
And
at
one
it.
thing go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, thank you, you made me lose my point.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Oh, it was so great too. It's gonna save the world. Oh,
Go ahead. You got it.
oh.
1, 2, 3, go.
I don't have it anymore. I lost it.
1, 2, 3, go.
I lost it. You go.
Okay, I want to go, and then you're going to get it. I guarantee you it's going to come back to you.
Right.
One thing I wanted to just, before we end the show, I wanted to get into, because it means a lot to me and the person I am and the abilities that I have, because I'm a superhero. No big deal.
I remember now.
Do you remember it now?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it. Go now. Go.
Well, the point I was going to make, video games to me, the pro and con arguments are usually made between different generations. And I think that's really at the core of this argument about, are video games good for you or are they bad for you? I think there's my generation who grew up with video games, and then there's the generation before me who had their art or their entertainment was mostly listening to records, maybe TV, maybe movies, going out and being more social. So I think there's more social face to face, because I think video games are very social. To me, it's a generational issue more than anything. I think that's at the very core of it. You know, it's it's an age difference. I think it's an ageist argument. That's what I think. That's the point I wanted to make.
Yeah, and you're right. It is, because you have these, it's just it's like a generation gap. Where you're at and where you grew up is probably at the peak and the start of where you're only 40, man. I hate to say this, but we're the older generation. It's acceptable and it's in. You know what I mean? So you're not really going to find too many people where you're at who haven't played games, who haven't been around it, and to see it differently. But before we close the show, I just wanted to go over a couple of things of pros that I wanted to just get into.
Bring it, brother.
So I wanted to get into, what does gaming do as you as a person, like your physical abilities? And I actually jumped on and found this this article, which I found a lot of articles like this, but this one kind of sums it up best. Basically, they kind of pitted people who play video games and people who don't, and they said, "Hey, well, who's better at this?" You know what I mean? Who's the typical finding is that gamers outperform non-gamers on whatever test it is. Whether any experiment or any perceptual or cognitive test.
Okay.
It's gamers always excel the non-gamers. But that experiment is kind of, it doesn't prove anything, because it's possible that people who choose to play video games already have like a superior kind of ability already, like a more comfortable, that. You know what I mean?
Smarter than you non-players.
So then it gets into another experiment where they said, okay, well, let's really prove it. How do we prove it? Okay. And so they took people who haven't played games, or who haven't played a certain type of game completely. And what they said is, okay, we want you to play this game, and you group, you don't play this game. So, and basically how it was, that was the start. They said, all right, here's where we're starting. Nobody's played this game, period. You guys play it, and play it like we're going to tell you to, and then we'll test your abilities afterwards and see this from the starting point where we're at.
Right.
So, and then improvements, let's see, here's just some findings that he found. Improved visual contrast sensitivity, 50 hours of action video game play spread over 10 to 12 weeks, improved visual contrast sensitivity, which is the ability to distinguish subtle differences in shades of gray. So that's essentially kind of what that boiled down to. Successful treatment of lazy eye.
Wow, really?
Yes. They, in 2011, performed experiments in which some adults with the disorder played action video games using only the bad eye. The good eye was covered. Other adults with the disorder did other things with the good eye covered.
Okay.
Such as knitting or watching television. The result was those who were in the gaming condition showed great improvement, often to normal or near normal functioning improvement, while those in the other conditions did not. Many in the gaming condition developed 20/20 vision or better in the previously lazy eye.
Now, is that just from focusing and having to pay attention to detail, maybe?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you're using an eye, you're using your your eye, and you're covering up the good one, which naturally is going to look straight, and you're forcing that other eye to kind of go where it goes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Improvements in attention and vigilance.
Yes, definitely. It does do that.
Action video game improved performance on the ability to locate quickly and target stimulus in a field of distractors. So
what they're saying is we can shoot the targets better than you can.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they're
improved
saying.
Ability to track moving objects in field of distractors. Same thing.
Yep.
Action games improve ability of children and adults to keep track of a set of moving objects that were visually identical to other moving objects in the visual field. Reduced impulsiveness. Action games improve performance in a test of the ability to refrain from responding to non-target stimuli in a situation.
So that's you're just concentrating on whatever it is that you're doing.
Exactly.
Right? Whatever game you're playing, you're really focused on it. So it's improving your focus. Okay.
Exactly. Overcoming dyslexia.
Really?
Yes.
No.
One study showed that as few as 12 hours of video game play improved dyslexic children's scores on tests of reading and some other big word, phonology. I don't know what that is.
It's so funny.
In fact, the improvement was as great or greater than that achieved by training programs that were explicitly designed to treat dyslexia.
So this sounds like data that they want to bury, that they don't want this data to come out.
This is just, these are just, and I'm not going to get into every breakdown because we're running long, but just improved the ability to engage in multiple tasks simultaneously, increased mental flexibility, reversing mental decline that accompanies aging. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's kind of helping. It's kind of helping you old people with your old timers. Alzheimer's.
Improvements in job related skills.
Yes.
It's ridiculous how these groups of people said, okay, let's test this. Let's test it from a zero standpoint, not gamers versus non-gamers. Let's put everybody in the same rink, and then you do this, and then you do this, and we'll see who's better at it in the long run. So gaming, that's one of the big things I wanted to talk about and jump into, was the pros of you and your abilities, how it makes you, because I feel like my hand-eye coordination is amazing. I feel like I excel.
Definitely one of the big things that I hear they say a lot is video games improves your hand and eye coordination, your attention to detail, improves your math, depending on some of the games that you play. It improves your problem solving when you do your puzzles. It improves, again, you talked about the focus part, but okay, wrapping up this show, running along, hour and a half. I'm going to be evil one more time.
Okay.
Then you be good and close the show.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So in summary, I think video games make our kids more violent. I think it's a waste of time. We could actually be doing something that's more productive for the planet Earth. I think it's a waste of money. We could be putting that resources into things that can help other people, and they make women look bad. What do you say?
I say that you're wrong on every aspect of that. Because I hate it, and I love video games. You don't talk about video games, bro.
the worst.
Have your kids play video games. It keeps them out of trouble.
There you go. Yes, it does. It
and
does.
do this,
And not a nookie.
please.
No
People,
nookie.
please. Set standards. Don't let your kid take over that video game. Please. Kick them out of the house. Make them have play dates.
So what I'm hearing you say is something you said in the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Video games, there are pros and cons to video games like we touched. But
Yes.
what it really comes down to, and this is with anything in life, because if you have any type of addiction, I don't care if it's to TV, to sports, to church,
Mm-hmm.
there's some church addicts out there. It really comes down to finding a balance in your life,
Yeah.
in all that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Life forces you to have balance sometime. You
Yes.
get up at work, you come home, you got to take care of yourself or your spouse, and then there's relaxing and entertainment. But if you find yourself saying, okay, man, hey, I don't want to go to work today.
Yeah.
You find yourself not going to church, or if you find yourself spending too much time, attention, and focus on one thing,
Mm-hmm.
that you crossed the line into becoming an addiction, and that's unhealthy.
Yes.
And video games like gambling, like the NFL, NBA, like crocheting, like any other thing, can easily become an addiction.
Yep.
And so that's where the red flag should come up, the sirens should go off.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I want to say is make sure that you have balance in your life,
Yes.
in everything that you do. Even going back to finding time to relax, finding time to go outside of your routine and being social. You have to find balance. So
Yes.
that's what I want to say, Chris.
No.
What do you want?
I want to say you're correct. Video games are amazing. Play them when you want to play them, but do other things. Go get outside, get some sun. I know you
I
hear
go
it.
fishing. Yeah, I go
Whatever.
fishing.
Go find an activity. So that's it. We're done with this. I apologize for running long. I know we're trying to stick at an hour. I just got kind of over passionate with it.
As usual.
Merc, where can they find us?
Yeah, so we are I love this part.
You love
We're
it.
on Facebook, of course. We are the Fantasy Friends Podcast. Just those 3 words. I find us. We continue to post stuff daily. Funny things, important, not so funny things, serious things, video game related things, of course. We're also on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is FanFryPod. It's the number 6 at Liang's. So all you got to do is ask for the number 6 and you'll find us on Twitter. And you can also email us if you ever get a hair up your butt.
Mm-hmm.
You can email us at fantasyfriendspodcast at gmail.com.
Yeah.
What I would love for you guys to do, if you feel like contacting us on any of those, is you got a topic, something you think we should talk about, something that's rattling around in your head. Hey, drop us a note and we'll put a show together around it and we'll impress you.
Yeah,
Because
we will. There's no other. I don't think we can't. Can we not? And
I don't think
how
it's
are we not? Is it possible?
No.
Is it possible to not
yes.
impress?
No. Yes.
So that being it, I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate another week, hour plus of your time. Next week, we actually got a pretty good thing that I want to say kind of rolls off of this. We're actually gonna, what's that?
We're talking about Nookie.
We're actually going to talk about the differences between our generation growing up and this generation growing up.
And you old farts. I'm sorry. The new generation. Okay, we're the old farts. Help me out, Chris.
I want to say I'm not there. I'm not 30 yet. I can't leave you out there by yourself. I'm jumping in the water.
Hang out with people who are 40. You are part of the old farts, brother. Get you a T-shirt that says "I hang out with the old farts."
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I'm Magellan. This is Akimbo Merc. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next week.
Good night.